Hey there. So, in this lesson, we'll be talking about cosine law. Now, in the past, I've talked about sine law, how sine law is very simple, but if the sine law doesn't work, then you always have the cosine law. I typically try to test for the sine law first, and if the sine law doesn't work, then I sort of fall back on the cosine law. However, um, you can use the sine law if you have an angle and beside it you have two sides beside the angle, then you can use cosine law. Or if you have all three sides of a triangle, then you can use cosine law. That's how you can tell. Um, Actually, you know what? Let's read the definition. It says here, if two sides and the measure of the contained angle are known, cosine law can be used to determine the length of the third side. Yeah, it's true. Also, if you have all sides, then you can find the angle. The cosine law can be applied to both acute and obtuse triangles. It can be applied to any triangle, really. And the best way to learn this, oh, I just want to point out something to you guys in terms of the pattern that you see in this equation. So let me get my pencil too. If you notice here, like there's three equations, so you just pick one equation, and here you have A and then B plus C, right? But you notice that the B and C are here, and the angle A is here because this it corresponds to that A, and these B and C corresponds to here. That's how you can sort of easily memorize the equation. Like the equation is not easy to memorize, but you can memorize it by just doing these three first. And once you have these three, then you know it's minus BC and cos A. Well, it depends if you want to memorize the equation. It's easier if you do because it makes your life a lot simpler. You don't have to go back and forth and looking at formulas. Okay, so the best way to do these problems is to actually do examples. So it says here, Marcus is a surveyor. A surveyor is a person who just inspects things. He's on one side of the creek looking at both ends of the bridge. He measures the distance and angles as shown in the diagram. So we have a diagram here. It's basically a triangle. I showed the triangle down here. So this is the same thing as you see up here. It says here, determine the length of the bridge to the nearest 10th meter. So basically, is that basically one decimal place and 10th meter, and basically you're looking for m. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for m. Oops. You're looking for m. M equals, you don't know. Okay, so let's get started. Again, I'm gonna show you how to rearrange the equation. But first, let us do this way. So it'll be m squared, because that's what we're looking for, m squared, equals, and the other two sides is, this is g, small g here, and this is small b here. So it'll be g, small g, oops, let me just make that nicer, g squared plus b squared minus 2gb, that's all multiplication, and then cos capital M. We have capital M. So we both have this, and we have that, we have B and G, and we have that. If you see here, the M here capital. So we have all this information. All you have to do is find this number, then root it. Maybe I should find it. I'm gonna pop the numbers in and I'm gonna root it later because it might be easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. So we have here, I'm gonna put it in brackets so it's easier for you guys to see. So 46 squared plus 22 squared minus 2, and I'm gonna put that in brackets so it's easier guys for you to see. It's all multiplication. It's 46, 22 cos, and it'll be, I put that in brackets as well, 37. And if you drop that into your calculator, that would equal 983.562. And if you guys don't already know, to get rid of the squared, you have to root it. So if you root this side and you root that side, then you have m equals root 983.562. Let me just extend that there, right? And you should equal 31.4. 34, and we're working in meters. So this has to be in meters as well. Therefore, the bridge is about 31.4 meters. You can make a statement here. Therefore, bridge is 31.4 meters. And it's one decimal place, the nearest tenth of a meter. That's right. Okay. And I think there's only three problems, three examples. So let's do the next examples. Examples done the same way. And if you notice here, well, you don't really need to read the problem. I'm looking at a triangle right now, and I can see here's three sides are given. So tell me right away I can use cosine law. But let's read the problem. Jada is playing a role of a knight in a fantasy video game. Her battle helmet protects her from danger but restricts her field of view, which is the total angle in front of her around which she can clearly see. Jada can see the castle and a dragon at the corner of her view. Jada can estimates her distance as shown. Determine Jada's view to the nearest degree. So basically, this is Jada, and this is one side, like her field of view is a castle, and the other field of view is a dragon. And it looks like the numbers are given. All sides are given. So it makes her life a lot easier. So it's asking her, determine Jada's field of view to the nearest degree. So it's asking you, what is the angle? That's what's asking you, what is the angle there, right? So, um, I'm going to show you how to rearrange the equation first. I'm going to write the equation out, and then I'm going to rearrange it. Um, hold on. Here we go. Yeah, so let's do this. I'm going to work over here. Small j, and that's squared. And I believe it's d, so it'll be small d squared plus c, small c squared minus 2d. Maybe I should show that in, okay. 2dc cos capital J. Okay, so I'll show you how to rearrange the equation. I don't know if we're gonna have enough room. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna grab this entire thing here. I bring it to the other side of the equation. So I'm gonna put down here. So it jumps on this, and this will go this side of the equation, and this thing will go that side of the equation. So if I do that, I'll have 2, now it's positive, dc, and then it's cos j equals d squared plus c squared minus j, small j squared. So I brought the j this side and this entire term to the other side, and then I'm going to divide both sides of the term by 2dc, 2dc. That cancels out, and I'm left with cos j, and the rest of that, which is 2 plus c squared minus j squared divided by 2dc. And if I drop my numbers in, let me just drop my numbers in, you will see that I get, okay, I'm not sure, I don't think we're going to have enough room. Okay, what is d? D is 6.0 squared plus c squared is 6.5 squared minus j is 10, well 10.0 squared. Divide that by 2, put that in brackets. D is 6.0 squared, oh not squared, but 6.0, and then that will be 6.5, which gives you a number of 0.2788, 2788. So that's cost J. So therefore, you can find what J is by doing the inverse of cos. Sorry, that's not cos, that's sine. So J and then cos, that's the inverse of that, and then 0.2788. That gives you a value of 106 degrees. There we go. That's her field of view. Her field of view is 106 degrees. Okay. I'm most likely gonna give you a I'm gonna try to give you a formula sheet that's also rearranged because some of you your algebra is not the greatest. Like you should know this, but I sort of understand some of your adults and it's been a while, so I may give a formula sheet with rearranged. So anyhow, um, let's move on to the last question. Okay, so again, it's just a triangle right here. This is a little bit tricky. I can tell as a cosine law because if you take a look, there's an angle, and beside each angle are numbers, sides. So I can tell right away you can use the cosine law, or if you use a sine law, I can tell right away you cannot use a sine law because I don't. There's an angle and there's no side, so I cannot use a sine law. So therefore, I default to the cosine law. Okay, it says here in this triangle, which is TUV, U equals 4.5 miles, V equals 6.1 miles, and the angle T equals 108. Again, just looking at this doesn't tell you anything. You have to draw it out to actually see for what it is. So I always encourage you to draw it out. Solve the triangle, which is TUV. Run all sides to the nearest tenth of a mile and all angles to the nearest degree. So you gotta find all angles, and that's pretty simple. And yeah, I think that's about it. So let's use cosine law to find, well, we're gonna have to use the cosine law to find the length of t. So once we have this, then we can use sine law for everything else. So let us do that. Let me just get my pen tool here. We're looking for small t. Just so you know, this is a small v. I'm gonna put a little dash there. That's for small v. And this is u. I'm gonna put like that for small u. So we have that there. I'm just gonna do t squared equals u. Oops, u squared plus v small v. I'm gonna use that squared minus 2 um then brackets. That'll be what was that, u, and then v and cost capital T. There we go. Let's drop those numbers in and then we'll square it to find the final answer. I have here bracket 4.5 squared. If you guys want to take shortcuts, you guys can take shortcuts, but I'm just doing this sort of long way just because some of your math is not as strong, so I'm trying to show all steps. Minus 2, and I'm gonna put this in brackets so you guys can see everything is multiplied. So 4.5 bracket 6.1 bracket another bracket cos, it's 108 brackets. And if we drop that into our calculator, we should get 73.96. 73.96. That's what we have. So that's what so basically t squared equals 73.96 in short, and then you root both sides and you end up with t, and then root 73.96. When you root both sides, that's how you get rid of the squared here. So once you root that side, it gets rid of the squared. That's why you don't see it here. So, and this gets rooted. Let me just extend that root. And then we end up with 8.6. This is in miles, so this is also in miles. There we go. So we have the side now. So once we have the angle and the side, then we can default to sine law. Sine law is a much more easier equation to use than the cosine law. Like, you could use the cosine law for other things, but I wouldn't recommend it because it just takes a lot. Basically, it's a lot of numbers and it's a lot to calculate. So sine law is by far easier to do than the cosine law. Okay, so sine law. Let's find u. So we have here sine. Okay, take a look here. We're looking for u. So we don't have the angle. So I'm going to use the one that's upright at the equation. But we have these two. This is the angle and the corresponding side, so I can use t there. So sine capital U. or maybe I should do it like this, capital U over small u, and then sine capital T over small t, and let us rearrange that. And I'm gonna rearrange it such that I'm just gonna look for u right away because we don't have much space, so I'm just gonna go straight for the answer. So I'm gonna do like that. I'm gonna do this for angle. Oops. Let's just do this, right? And I can tell right away it's gonna be sine inverse because I'm getting rid of that, and it's inverse. And then over here I can put in, well, this goes up here because it multiplied both sides by u. Then you're gonna end up with u here, sine t over small t. Okay. Um, there's not much space. Okay, let's drop our numbers in. Oops, let me see get an eraser here because maybe I used too much up there and too much over here. Get my pencil. There we go. Hopefully you have enough space. U in this case is going to be 4.5. Then sine t, the angle t is 108. And everything is over 8.6. That's what we calculated earlier. And then end bracket. And that should give us an angle of 30 degrees. There we go. So U is 30 degrees. So we have 30 degrees here. Let's drop that into our triangle so we can see things better. It's good to put things into the diagram. So we have this, we have this. This is now easy to find. We use the property of triangles. Remember, every triangle has to equal 180. All the angles have to equal 180. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to say what we're looking for. We are looking for angle V here. Now we're going to look for angle V. So I'm just going to do that. So I'm going to say V, capital V. That's the angle V. And 180 minus the angles, which is 108, minus 30. And we get an angle of 42. 42 degrees. Therefore, you should have basically everything. 42. Let me write up here 42. So we have all the angles and we have all the sides, and you can write yourself a statement down here about showing that the results you have. Okay, so that's it. That's the end of the lesson. It was a pretty quick lesson, but I hope you learned something. Okay, thanks.